That's why when Zerka says that Destiny is gay, I'm kind of inclined to believe him.
I'm not trying to make a judgment. Gay is not bad, but I just think gay is gay. And our heterosexuality is tied to our masculinity as men. Not to say that gay men can't be some gay men can be masculine too, but for the most part, our heterosexuality is tied to our masculinity. Your heterosexuality is not tied to your femininity. What I mean by that is, if we go to your birthday party, Teresa, and we're hanging out and you're completely straight, and all of a sudden one of your female friends goes, "I love you, Teresa," and kisses you on the lips, no one is going to care. If you're hanging out, hold on. If Teresa gets a new boob job and the girls come up and like, "Oh, I'm going to play with Teresa's boobies," no one's like, "That is so weird. You're fired from your job. I can't fucking believe you did that." But if somebody came and kissed me at my fucking birthday party, that was a dude, he's catching a left hook next. There's no fucking, and I'm not homophobic. I'm just saying, like, there's no, like, it's my heterosexuality is tied to my masculinity, where for women, your heterosexuality is not tied to your femininity.
Now, I would say I completely agree, because honestly, I've never had a threesome with two guys, because I don't think any dude I've ever personally dated would ever have that guy.
Interesting. What an interesting concept, Rita. What an interesting concept. No guy that she would ever date would ever allow something like that to happen. And the thing is, allow. Like, if I am in such a terrible situation where, like, I am so desperate to keep you, then that is the only reason I can see any man hypothetically allowing for something like that to happen who isn't gay. And if he's gay, it sounds like a fun time. It sounds like a fucking fun Saturday night.
I think that, like, it makes them gay. Like, if they're not, like, interacting with each other sexually, and they're both, like,
yeah, but you're still in the same room. Like, I don't.
But like, there's
know what a cuckold is, right?
Okay, go ahead, explain to it. I do, but go ahead, explain.
Like, literally have sex parties and dicks are everywhere, and that's not gay. To go to, like, a swingers party.
I think it kind of is, actually. Go ahead.
Is it?
But a cuckold is someone who likes to see someone their girl. That's not necessarily joining in, but they definitely like to watch live porn.
Do you think that's exceptionally masculine to watch someone else have sex with your girl?
It's nasty.
Yeah.
You think that is masculine?
A lot of guys are fucking horny. They'd be like, yeah, to me, out of my girl. I just want to watch
live porn.
Maya,
That's
go.
what I said the other day. Live porn, bro.
Quiet. Maya, go.
To me, a masculine guy is going to be a little possessive.
Yeah.
Like, the whole idea of a
Thank
guy,
you.
right, when you're looking at, like, you know, way back when, is protect the clan, protect the family.
Yep.
You want to protect your wife. You don't want to see, you know, her with another guy. It's your job to be protective over her, to take care of her. And that's not taking care of your girl.
So what happens? There's this thing called the 7-year itch for a reason. At 7 years, you start getting bored.
I'll tell you what, in porn, because the vast majority, exceeding 95% of porn is watched by men, even gay and straight men. Those men imagine that they are not the cuck, but the bull. That's the reason why it's a little different. Again, if you want another example, watch first-person shooters, Grand Theft Auto, or watch Call of Duty. We imagine we're the guy with the gun. It's the same thing, but with porn. That's why it's different than watching our wife get cucked. Like, getting cucked while watching our wife have sex with someone else. That is a completely different thing than watching.
It's psychology, because there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people there's a lot of people who grew up watching porn, and they have this unrealistic views of what porn or what sex is supposed to be.
I don't think porn makes you a cuck.
Yes, it does.
But they like watching their wife getting pleased.
Yes, it does. Because there's a lot of people that grow up watching porn, so that when they actually start having sex, they're like, this isn't as good as me just watching it and just jacking off. A lot of people are like that.
I don't know. Glenn, I disagree.
Just because you don't know and don't disagree. Just because you don't know and disagree doesn't mean it's not a thing.
Okay, here's the thing. I will tell you, as far as is concerned, I used to be a military officer stuck in the Middle East for 6 months at a time. So maybe.
They always fuck each other.
Frank Castle. Yeah. Frank Castle, get the fuck off here. Frank Castle.
I have an interesting thing, though. So I have definitely watched, and I've watched both threesomes with girls and threesomes with guys. And I think it's interesting that I've watched a lot of threesomes that were with 2 guys and 1 girl, where it's a lot of people in Europe. It seems to be like a normal thing in Europe. I swear to God, if you look at it and go watch some porn with
you know why?
Stay here.
Really
you want to know why?
In the States where it's safe.
Or let's go to Europe.
Hell yeah.
You want to know why?
He's going to stay here. Let's go to Europe.
You want to know why? Because the Nazis killed all the real men. That's the reason why. That's what's left over in Europe. That's what's left over in Europe. That's what's left over in Europe.
Over there.
You want the real men? Come to Texas. All right, here we go. Ladies, have you at any time ever fantasized being with a man and a woman at the same time?
Done
Anybody?
it. Been there. Couples.
I mean, I've had the other
Done
way.
that.
Okay, cool. If you believe in your future at some point, you may have sex with a man or a woman at the same man and a woman at the same time.
You mean a threesome with 2 females? Like
No, threesome with a man and a woman.
So, yeah, 1 other female and like a dude.
A couple.
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
A
cool.
couple?
Yeah, that is a man and a woman.
Couple?
I mean, I've had threesomes with chicks.
That's what I mean. Yes,
I
that's
mean,
what I
I
mean.
was the
3
dude
girls?
was my man. And
Okay,
I had
that's
the
fine. That's fine. So
girl.
you had another one as a unicorn.
So a couple
Okay, cool,
and a
cool.
girl.
All right, awesome.
Okay.
So now the question is, Rita, do you think that makes the women bisexual because they would do that?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
No.
cool. Isn't it interesting how it's very clear in this
but
way?
it's because they're touching each other.
Okay.
The
What if they're
men-
not touching
the
each
men
other?
having a threesome, if they're touching each other, okay, yeah, they're like probably bisexual or gay. But if they're not touching each other, they're fucking a woman.
What do you think, Gemini?
No, I've had sex with my man, and then I've had sex with a few girlfriends. Now, one did backfire really wrong.
Why did that backfire?
Because the man went behind my back and had.
Oh, I actually know exactly who this is.
Yeah.
Actually, she's been on the show.
Yeah, exactly. So I actually checked. I checked before I came on to make sure she wasn't on this episode.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I would never speak to her again. I'd rather punch her in the face.
Okay.
But, yeah, so at the end of the day, she went behind my back and got with my man. However...
So you had a threesome and then that's
So it wasn't a positive
yeah.
experience.
Okay.
right?
No, but I have zero. I mean, I think female are gorgeous, and I have, I love a pretty female.
Can I bring something else up? Didn't that dude have some proclivities outside the norm as well?
Yeah, I mean, but I think that everybody has their own poison. So at the end of the day...
No. This dude had specific poison.
He had a little interesting things, but I do think people do grow up. It's like,
Do you see why the show is different? Because I know this. Go ahead.
I don't judge people's past. You know what I mean? If it happened before me, that's one thing. If it happens while I'm with you,
Would he have
different.
let his balls touch another guy's balls? Is what I'm asking.
Maybe.
Maybe?
I mean,
Okay.
I
All right.
don't know. I'm obviously not him. So, but at the end of the day, I don't consider myself bisexual. I would never jump ship for a dude to a female, but it's not ever going to happen.
So I'm going to give a hypothesis here, and that is that for sexuality for men would be, sexual preference for men would be more binary, not completely binary,
Women are
but more
far
binary,
more sexually fluid.
And for women, it would be a spectrum. So because you said you wouldn't jump ship, for me, the 50-yard line for me is, would you go down on another woman? You'll see women who will be, I have a threesome and won't go down on another woman. The women who won't, I'm going to put them below 50%. Does that make sense? The women who are like, I will actually want to go on a date with a woman with no man there, I'm going to put them at like 80, 90%.
Oh, yeah.
Does that make sense?
I wouldn't go on a date with a female, but I wouldn't mind having threesome with
maybe you're
female.
like 50, 60%. That's right. So a spectrum for women, whereas for men it's more binary.
You know what's
go
funny
ahead.
is like when I hear this question asked on other podcasts as well,
Yeah.
like a lot of the women who are on like say Fresh and Fit or whatever, wherever they're going, they're very open with the fact that they're bisexual or that they're into girls all the time. And I think people confused, or like people who are viewers or people who are critics of this think that like that we're just handpicking lesbians, right? Or we're handpicking like bisexual women. And it's like the fact of the matter is like the broad depth of the pool of girls that come on these shows. They always relate that. In fact, proudly so. That's one of the first things that comes out of their mouth.
I would say half the girls we've had on the show said that they would be open to having a threesome with another woman.
And more than a few of them tried to hook up with each other at the end of the show. But no, I mean,
do I know that person?
No, you don't. Maybe you do. So anyway,
no,
it's not her.
What I'm saying is, it's far more likely that human like men and women are more binary than they are like fluid. Let's just say
the bisexual women, when they listed themselves as bisexual, would message male accounts and they would message female accounts. The bisexual men on the program would message only male accounts, and many of them, like in the high 90s, eventually would change from bisexual to gay. That's the reason.
Bisexuals always like dick more. That's a fact.
See, it's a stigma. They don't feel comfortable
For
saying
sure.
they're openly gay because it's just been such a fucking problem to say that you're gay because everybody looks down on you.
I don't know if everyone looks down on you. I don't know if everyone
not
looks down
anymore,
on you.
but it was literally like gays would be killed. It was illegal. Like shit
Even
was
if
not
a
good
guy
for them.
said he was bi today, you look
You're
down
like, okay,
upon.
you're gay.
Like
I
it's
don't-
like, no, bro, you like dick.
It's
That's
like-
weird. Even a
like,
female would
so
be
it's
like,
like-
no, you like dick. That's weird.
I'll do a John Zerga. Either you suck dick or you don't suck dick.
Okay, so let me finish. Christina, you had something like you fantasized about being with two a man and a woman.
I've had them, but like it happened to you, it did backfire. So you just
Did they hook up with each
I
other?
mean, being in a relationship and bringing in another woman into that relationship. So, like you said, I just learned unicorn.
Yeah.
I guess that's
Right? How funny
that's
is
a new
that?
term for
Yeah.
me. And to bring in a unicorn is fine because you do want to go your separate ways. You're there just to have fun.
Totally agree. So you're saying it backfired because this guy tried to bring in another person into the relationship.
Yeah. No, they ended up sleeping behind my back.
Okay, got it.
That's what always happened.
So now I did say that, which I did tell him after the fact. I said, listen, because I do have obviously hot friends and stuff like that. I said, you ruined your threesome chances. I said, the only time we ever will have a threesome in the future is if we find a random bitch on vacation.
Sure.
Oh, no hooker.
Yeah,
I don't want to catch something.
They're cleaner than the bitches that you're just going to pick up off the street. Let's be real.
But yeah, a random person I pick, you get no information, and that's the only other chance you're going to have a threesome.
That's
Otherwise,
fair.
you fucked your chances.
Totally fair. I actually think, Teresa, though, it has more to do with he was going to do this anyway. I don't think it's because you had a threesome.
But he's going to get with her behind my back?
No, get with someone.
He was just going to
get with someone.
Anyway.
I think he was going to get with someone.
He was going to cheat either way, whether you allowed it or not.
I'm not going to blame it on the threesome. That's the only thing I'm going to say. Right? That's all I would say. Right?
Maya,
Kat?
you're not about that.
Yes.
No? No. Do you have anything to say about it? No, okay.
Had a threesome?
I made some comments before. No.
I was gonna say it's like you're like straight heterosexual. One guy, one closed on his end, closed on your end.
Yeah, I
Good to
mean,
go?
I think like Gemini said, or you made a comment or something. It's like, oh, when you're out and you're drinking with your friends, it's like for you to kiss your friend.
Normal.
That's not a big deal. That's very normal.
So you would think that was normal even with you, right?
I would think that's
I have a friend, Marissa Everhart. She's a model, lives out in Florida.
Like your close friend, you're out or something.
She sells yachts, and she told me if a girl ever touched her, kissed her, whatever, she would like be fucking furious. Like she's she's at a zero. She's the first girl I met that's at zero. She's like, I have no interest whatsoever in women touching me. Did you say that you would ever fantasize about being with a man and a woman at the same time?
No.
Okay, Lana.
I have a unicorn tattooed on me.
Oh, okay.
I couples all the
there
time.
You go.
But I've been with girls. I've been in a relationship with a woman.
So you're not for the streets. You're for like the cross streets.
I'm for.
Right, you're for two streets. You're like where the streets intersect. There we go. You're for fun.
No. It's
but not E for everyone.
No,
but you are for fun. F for fun. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah. I had my past situation, so I was very free, very very young and free. I fucked couples, so I fucked girls, fucked guys. I was with him from 17 to 26. So as soon as I got divorced, I was a wild child, and then now I'm like mellowed out.
The Alex Jones thing with the pesticides making the frogs gay because they were changing gender. So first off, just in case anybody who's watching this, there's a bunch of Alex Jones files that are going to watch this. First off, frogs have been able to change gender. Frogs have been able to change gender since before there were even hominids on the planet. But before there were even humans on the planet. Okay, first off. Number two, being able to change gender is not a sexual proclivity. Number three, having low testosterone doesn't make you gay. If you guys have ever been to a trucker bar and seen the fat dude with the big man boobs who like his testosterone's at 0. They don't turn 75 and then turn gay because their testosterone's lower.
No, it's their estrogen levels their
estrogen levels go up, but like sexual proclivity and testosterone levels, for some reason, these people who don't understand what they're talking about think that they're the same thing, and they're not. You don't become more gay. Now, the whole thing about trans, that actually there may be some correlation there, but you don't become your testosterone levels don't go lower and then you become gay. That's not a thing. Just so we're clear, okay? I just really annoying when
Michael's
I hear that.
Gonna transition. That's what.
I'm going to transition to another subject. That's what we're doing.
We're talking about like there's one thing, like if I see Big Mo in Miami and I hug him and I give him a kiss on his bald head, that means that's something else. Like it's me, like because I love him like a brother, right?
It's brother, yeah.
But it's another thing if a dude just tries to kiss you full in the mouth, right?
Yeah.
Then that's whoa.
Then you're just French. Yeah. At that point.
So I'm just going to point that out. But the other thing is, and maybe this is more to your point too, is like when you see like women are like kissing on each other, they're lipstick lesbians, right? They're just like,
That's
having
annoying.
fun together.
I think it's more of like, I don't know, when you're drunk and it's like your best friend and you really love your friend. It's different. It's different than like, I think
and you're on Molly and you're in Mexico.
Well, the reason why that's like, more acceptable.
Oh my God, you're here! And you'll like give your friend a kiss or something. I'm not saying like you're making out with them.
But you're not making out on
say hi to each other. So,
but you're not making out on any. You're not making out on any.
Yes, and those countries all lost to Germany. Yes, that's my point.
Well, the reason. So the evolutionary reason for this is that if a guy sees two women like who are like in a state of arousal, that's a double bonus. I can impregnate both of them. So that becomes more socially acceptable because the guy's like, well, she's hot for her, and I'm like, a threesome is like every man's fantasy.
Do you want to know something that's even more insidious than that? What about it as a survival strategy when Genghis Khan comes and destroys your village, and then you being with another woman actually is a survival strategy, and that's what those genetics get passed along.
There's a lot of really ugly.
It gets really ugly when you guys. If you guys want to read some really ugly truths, read the
400 kids or something, or like
who Genghis Khan?
Genghis Khan?
No, like something like 8%.
No, might be related.
Listen, 8%.
Definitely not.
Listen, you guys understand? Men have X and Y chromosome. Women have XX chromosome. Exactly. The Y chromosome that is related to Genghis Khan is in 8% of Asian men today.
1 in every 200 people.
Yes. 1 in 200 people on the planet. 8% of Asian men on the planet.
Like bricked up at all times.
Yes. Bricked up.
Bricked up.
Slut. They're over here they make whole ass podcasts about that motherfucker.
I was like, find me 10 freaky bitches on a yacht right now.
So the other side of this, the other side of this is that when guys see one of the reasons why guys are far more binary, like you're either gay or you're not gay kind of thing. It's not like no half and half. That's why when Zerka says that Destiny is gay, I'm kind of inclined to believe him. When he was talking about if you're bisexual, you're leaning like, I mean, if you're gonna fuck other girls, okay, but like you're fucking guys. So what that says is, to me anyways, that's a non-binary position. Most guys are binary, either it's on or it's off. So when a guy sees another guy wants to come and give you a kiss full in the mouth, that's like, ooh, it kind of gives you the willies. But when you see like two chicks kissing together, you're like, all right, all right.
Fake lesbians. Those are attention lesbians.
That's what, but it's like
those
for
are
guys,
girls that are trying to get attention from
for the
dudes.
same guys who would have a problem like with like a social problem with homosexual men, they don't have a problem with homosexual lesbians.
No one ever has.
Nobody does.
No one has ever had
Isn't it funny? Hold on.
That's not a social thing. That's an evolutionary
problem.
I've made this point a million times. The problem
I
with
don't care if 2 dudes are making out either.
No, it's because women can't get women pregnant. That's why.
So here's the thing. Like, I've always had a problem with the title LGBT because they're different. What lesbians go through coming out to their family and friends is different than what gay men do coming out to what trans people and different what like bisexual people. They're so completely different. Trans men and lesbian women have nothing to do with each other. Like unless a lesbian woman becomes trans.
They actually hate each other sometimes.
For real. So like I just the reason why the reason why I bring this up is because sometimes we were looking up demographic information and we can't find any. All the information is on non-binary people. No, I'm just looking up for lesbian women. I can't find information on lesbian women, just binary people. And it's like they put them all together. And the thing is, if I was one of those letters or numbers, whatever they are, if I was one of them, I would be like, no, I want to be represented individually. I don't want to be in this group and then have AOC, who isn't any of those things, represent me. She's none of those things. You know what I'm saying? And now she's my representative. That doesn't make sense to me. I was saying this before because I was talking at the very end of the debate with Destiny. I was like, do you think that like politically conservative homosexual men will just lead the LGBT community because they're like, we're doctors, lawyers, and firemen just like everyone else. Well, we're tired of being represented by people who are burning down fucking buildings. Like, we don't want to be represented by them. And he was like, I don't know, maybe that could happen. So anyway, you have extremists on all points. But my whole thing is like, I don't want to be thrown in. It's just I was like, I'm part Colombian. If you say Colombians, Venezuelans, and Brazilians are the same, we'd be like, dude, shut the fuck up. We're nothing alike. Mexicans, Guatemalans, they're nothing.
Facts. That offends.
They're nothing alike, right?
You asked all of us if we knew 3 countries. Like, most of us didn't even know that those countries existed.
No, they did. There was only 2 of you who didn't.
I think I was the only dumbass that didn't.
Now you know.
You're talking to the wrong one right now. She didn't even know about these countries earlier.
Nope.
Irrelevant.
I swear I'm educated, but not in that.
Y'all all brown people.
And now you all know that Liechtenstein is a country.
Yes. I used to recruit when Dan Bilzerian would have his Ignite parties, which were by the best parties I've ever been to in my life. When he would have the parties, it was like 7-to-1 girls to guys. But there was one group of people that got to the front of the line every time. Do you know what it was? Gay men. Dan loved it when gay dudes came to his party because the girls had more dudes to hang out with, and these guys were not competition. Dan he talks about this all the time. He's like, at these parties, when you have that many women, you should let all the gay dudes come. Because they're not competition to you at all. You're right. And that's actually why I think homosexuality has to exist somewhere in evolution. And I think that's where it comes from. If you and me are out hunting and we're going to go kill the lion, who do we want staying back with our wives?
The ones that won't
That's exactly right. Yeah. And here's the thing. They pair up.
They're berry pickers, too.
Hold on. But here's the thing.
Hold on,
the thing.
Oh, you did.
Damn.
That's what they call it. It's not my words. I'm repeating what I heard.
But the thing is, but not only that, but they're also going to pair up with another dude who's also not going to have sex with our wife. You see what I'm saying?
I see it.
So that could be the reason. That could be the reason why that
logically I could see how that works. But
in evolution.
But more to your point, like when guys, like if there's a group of guys and a really good-looking guy comes in and he is clearly like he's taller than them, he's better looking than them. Like if he comes in and he walks into a social situation, and one of the ways that guys disqualify other guys is say, well, he's good-looking, but guys like that are gay. Like it's a disqualification kind of tactic that guys. And women, on the other hand, if a really hot girl comes into a social situation, she's wearing a red cocktail dress and hoop earrings and everything else, and she's looking good. As soon as that bitch leaves, all these girls go, what a slut. Only a slut would wear stuff like that, because they're disqualifying her.
You guys are all sluts.
They're disqualifying her from the consideration of all the guys that would be, you like that? Only sluts would wear something like that.
It makes sense for